So here we'll go through a game called Prodigy, which is a math kind of role-playing game where students are kind of put in a fantasy world to do some quests and different things like that, all while engaging in different math standards and math problems that are personalized towards them, and then you can kind of set what you want them to learn as well. So we'll get started first by looking at the teacher side of things. So I'm going to log in with Google. The first time that you do this, you'll have to kind of finish creating your account, uh, setting up your class, what math standards you're using, things like that. But I've logged in, I've made an account right here, and so I'm going to view my class. And we'll just go through some of these things right here. Now I've already added a student, but if you want to do this, there's some different things. When you make your class, you can actually link it to your Google Classroom. Otherwise, I can just create their accounts for them and then give them their usernames and passwords and things like that. So it will automatically make an account for them, and I can give them the password, and you see that we can connect the parent so that the parent can get some data on what their students are doing as well. When students first start, they get this placement test, and the way that this placement test works is that it will start by asking them questions a grade level below where they're at, so that it can see, all right, do we understand this stuff, and it will adapt and build on. And if they keep getting them right, it will do some higher level questions to give you some data on where that student is in the different strands of your standards in your curriculum. So from here on this planner, I can create some different assignments. I can create an assignment, I can give a standard that I want to hit on, or I can give them a test prep as well. So let's look at these plans right here. So I've set my class for 4th grade, and I can look at these different domains right here. So let's say I wanted to do something in geometry. Well, for 4th grade geometry, we have these two standards right here. So if I click this one right here and click next, and give it a name like 2D figures. And now I choose the start and end date. So if I wanted students, I'm planning ahead right here, so if I wanted them to work on this right here, I can click create, and it tells me it will take about 20 minutes to complete, so they should be playing about 5 minutes a day. So if I think, oh no, we should I want them to play less than that, I could do that, save the edit, and there we go. So now they're averaging about 4 minutes a day. You can also create an assignment, and there's some different skills that I can look at right here. So if we're working on something like, so the 2D shapes right here, like we were just doing, I could do properties of quadrilaterals, and with images and without images. Click next and tell them how many questions I want them to answer on that. So maybe I want 6 with images and maybe 10 without. And click next. I can assign it to certain students. I can click next, and then a start and end date as well. So what this means is that as a student, once they're in here, their questions will be more aligned to this standard that I've put right here. So they'll be answering questions like this. And then on this assignment, they'll be given questions exactly like I wanted, and once they're done, then they'll move on to wherever they're at on their journey, whatever's been aligned towards them. I can see some different reports right here, so I can I don't have many students or much data yet, so I don't have anything that looks too good right here. I can see where students are playing the most. There's one, so right here I can see some different things. I can look at Clyde McVickerson's data, things like that, see where we're at. Yeah, so I have a student working on this placement test, so I can check out right here, and I can see that, all right, in 5th grade, I have one student at the 5th grade level of number and operations in base 10. If I had more students, I would have like a number 5 right here, and I could see which students are in here, which students are at 4th grade, all those different things. So I could see that Clyde is doing really well in geometry, so he really gets those shapes and different things like that because he's at an 8th grade level right here. So helps me see, okay, some different things right here. So I could see filter out by students below grade level, things like that. And then I could also get a detailed breakdown as well to see how he answered these questions, how many he got right, things like that. Well, let's go ahead and look at it from a student side. So I'm already kind of in a game right here. So it starts off by having students create their character, giving them a name, things like that. They have to introduce them to how to play the game and the storyline and whatnot. So I'm going to go right here, and you can see that there's other people here as well. So these are actually other players in the game right now, which I can, I'd be able to click on them and see some stats about them. I'm able to battle them, so that means that we can compete against each other by answering some questions and things like that. But right now, I am on a quest, so let's go see what this looks like right here. And we'll come up, and so I got caught by this monster right here that I need to battle. So I have a couple different types of attacks that I could do. When I do an attack, basically it's just giving me a math question right here that's aligned to what I'm working on. So how would I write this expression? You'll see I have some drawing tools over here. I have some manipulatives if I need fractions, base 10 blocks, or counters. Sometimes they will give me a calculator if I need it, but sometimes, like with multiplication, multi-digit multiplication, they won't have that there. So it just depends. So add 16 and 1. Okay, so I have to figure out what does that look like. All right, then add 10. So if I do that, this is correct, and then I blast my spell on that, and then he's going to blast one back on me. And then I get another question right here. Subtract 9 from 18, so 18 minus 9 plus 7. Cast the spell. And then it looks like one more. So a giraffe in the zoo is 4 times as tall as the gorilla. The gorilla is 6 feet tall. How tall is the giraffe? Select the expression that represents the problem above. So that's going to be 4 times 6. Maybe that. Now I've defeated this guy right here. At the end it gives me some different things, so I get to level my characters up and get some more health. Get to open up a chest for some different items. And then it will always kind of give them this. There's a membership option that they could do individually, but it's not necessary. So I can, oops, I clicked on that guy. So I can keep going. And now I have a different quest right here. So there's just a variety of different things that they could do. And they're able to play this at home. They're able to collect items and kind of show it off. They could do some different pets that they can earn, things like that. There's maps. They can go all these different places. They could see leaderboards because there are some challenges right here, so they could see some different things in their class, so they could see how their classmates are doing. They have different badges, things like that. So it's fun for them because it is kind of like a game, and they have to do the math in order to be successful. But there are some downfalls in that just playing the game kind of takes away from some of the math instruction. So it's not always you're not just constantly doing math, but there's other things that happen in between. Uh, Especially if they're battling another player, sometimes it could take a lot longer as they're waiting for the other player to answer their question. So it's kind of just I would say focus on the quests in class. If you want to play at home and battle people, do it outside of class. That way you're using most of your class time effectively. So it's a great way to kind of get students into a gamified environment and to encourage some of them. Obviously, it's not going to work for everyone, but you might hit a few students and encourage them to keep growing in their math.